Hi, and welcome to the Beyond Files.
Ready to question reality? You're in the right place.
Let's dive in.
In the following video, two friends are goofing off inside an indoor playground at a time when no one else is around.
Shot me 3 times. You're good. Where'd you go?
It's late at night, and the restaurant where the kids' play area is located isn't being occupied by children. So, with not much else to do, both friends rush over to the restaurant's playground to have some fun. However, it would be during this playful moment that something pretty creepy is caught on camera. The following is what they caught. Take a look.
Jesus. Okay, this is my POV. Enjoy. This is really hard. I feel too big to do this. Yeah. Wait, where'd you go? Left or right? Which way? I feel like I'm in Alice in Wonderland. Here, she went that way. Yours is brighter, mine's all dark. Okay. You guys, I can't do this. I feel like I keep bonking my head too. That's crazy. There's like actually happening. This is literally for human hamsters. Oh my god, someone bashed in this window. I feel like this is.
Neither friend had realized what was caught until much later, and the one recording this didn't hear anything while taking the video. The only voice heard was her friend's, who was somewhere far off in the jungle gym. The other voice was completely missed, but not by the camera's mic, as apparently a child's voice is captured.
Yours is brighter, mine's all dark.
It isn't clear as to what's being said or whispered, but it sounds like the babbling noise you'd hear from a young child. For this reason, viewers think that this might have been the ghost of a child who hasn't left the playground. If that's the case, then who knows what else happens at night when no one else is around. While it isn't exactly certain what was caught, both friends were creeped out by this clip, but unfortunately, like most videos, this one remains a mystery.
What is up with all the McDonald's being haunted? You had Beto in one.
Yeah.
Remember the picture of Beto, the scary ghost? And then this, I don't,
Do you think like McDonald's is actually a portal?
I don't know.
Because there's so many of them. What if they're just like generating energy in portals for
That sounded like a
entities?
little kid in this one, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. I'm staying the hell. Well, are there any left? The good news is there's probably not many of those left.
So it doesn't seem like that's a normal thing for horses to do. I'm not a horse person or anything.
Not a horse
I'm
whisperer,
not a horse whisperer or a rider. I keep my distance.
equestrian.
They-
Well,
they
are there
freak
any
me out.
horse people out there that can tell us, is this normal? Does this happen? Is there a reason that it happens?
Or is it a glitch in the matrix?
Potentially demonic house alert. If you are in the market for a supremely haunted house in Massachusetts, I have the one just for you. This is 4 West Broadway in Gardner, Massachusetts, also called the S.K. Pierce Mansion. This house is ranked as the second most haunted house in Massachusetts and 9th in the U.S., and it's for sale. It's on the market for $1.2 million and features 7 bedrooms, maybe 9, 3.5 bathrooms, almost 7,000 square feet of space, and many ghosts. Since 2015, it's been owned by a company called the Dark Carnival and has been run as a haunted attraction. So you can stay overnight, do ghost tours, all that stuff, but you do have to fill out a waiver because the ghosts are very much viewed as advanced. The good news is this is still zoned as commercial 1, so future owners can turn it into a spooky bed and breakfast, another event venue, a retreat space. Okay, but first let's go back in time and see what makes this house so haunted. The house was built for this gentleman here, Sylvester Pierce. He made his fortune in the chair business. He bought a chair factory as a young man, turned it into the 3rd most successful furniture company in Massachusetts, S.K. Pierce & Sons. And so the success of Pierce's business, as well as other furniture companies, led to Gardner being known as Chair City. Pierce had this grand mansion built for himself, his wife Susan, and their son, and apparently it took 100 men a year and a half to complete it finally in 1875. Okay, the house inside and out is stunning, but you need to take a closer look at some things. This chair, for instance, is giving me feelings. Onto the parlor, the wallpaper, the built-in bookshelves, the furniture. I mean, the guy was known for his furniture, but what's that? Okay. Yep. All right. Okay, on to more history. So Pierce and his wife Susan had great hopes for this new house, but unfortunately their hopes were dashed when just a few weeks after moving in, his wife Susan fell ill and died due to a mysterious bacterial illness. After a year of mourning, Pierce remarried to a woman 30 years his junior, Ellen Pierce, and they had 2 more children. After Pierce and Ellen passed away, their 3 sons would end up bickering constantly over ownership of the mansion and the chair company. And after the chair company basically went bust during the Depression, their youngest son, Edward, took ownership of the house. And this is where things really got messy. By the way, this room is beautiful, but I really feel like this would be a great table for a seance. A butler's pantry. This is perfect. It's gorgeous. Who doesn't want a butler's pantry? After Edward took ownership of the mansion, the family fortunes continued to dwindle, and Edward turned the house into a sort of boarding house where there were all sorts of unsavory activities like drinking, gambling, and prostitution, and even murder. It's said that a sex worker was strangled to death in the famous Red Bedroom upstairs. Apparently, a Finnish immigrant boarder also burned to death in the primary bedroom in 1963, as well as a couple other mysterious deaths. Over the years, the house has become infamous for its amount of paranormal activity. According to the Dark Carnival website, guests have experienced everything from voices chanting, full-body apparitions, slamming doors, screens flying off windows, an ominous lion's roar which can shake the house. One person felt that she was being pushed by a presence down the stairs, and another person was almost forced out of a 3rd-floor window. Experts have called the entities in this mansion the most advanced they have ever seen, capable of harnessing electrical energy and converting that power into the ability to move large objects. So, poltergeist demons? I think this is the infamous Red Bedroom, where the woman was supposedly killed. Bless you. This bathroom is also a choice. Those walls are bold, but you know what? I love that old toilet. Oh, look at the stuffy on the bed. What a gentle touch. The floors are gorgeous. There is so much you could do with the space, but also the openness and that chair in the corner really make me feel unsettled. So, would you buy this house for $1.2 million? What would you do with it? Would you live in it? Would you rent it out? I don't think I will ever be going into this place, but it has been fun to look at.
How'd you know I didn't have mine?
I just thought she doesn't have her mic on. What do you think, Rach? Would you buy it?
If I had the cash, yeah, I would.
Really? Even though they're throwing you out a window or down the stairs, you would want that?
Nah, we'd be cool.
Oh, she thinks she's special. These are tough because she looked like she was walking and it looked really realistic. So I don't know if it was a ghost or a setup.
Yeah, because why didn't it keep filming as it got closer and closer?
Yeah. Why would you turn the camera off the closer? Fake.
fake.
This dinosaur was so well preserved, scientists thought it was alive when they found it. This giant armored dinosaur discovered in Canada is considered the most complete dinosaur fossil ever found. We're not just talking bones here, it was found with its skin, armor plates, and even traces of its original coloring still intact. You can actually see its scales, the heavy spikes along its body, and patterns that once helped it camouflage against predators. This 110 million year old Paraneopelta was built like a tank, covered head to tail in natural armor, and weighed over 1.5 tons. The fossil is so detailed that scientists could tell Paraneopelta was reddish brown with a lighter underbelly, the same kind of color pattern modern animals use to stay hidden.
Scientists thought it was alive is kind of a stretch.
A little bit. But kind of cool. Just
Yeah.
don't Jurassic Park it and bring it back, okay?
Yeah.
We don't want that. We got enough problems.
Yeah, we don't need
Dinosaurs running
dinosaurs.
around.
No.
So, bro, you're on to something in general. This statue right here might not be a petrified titan. This one might not be because of the feet is actually on this platform. Looks like it was actually constructed on this on purpose. But there are certainly petrified titans throughout the world. Have y'all seen this, bro? This guy with the beard? And he looks like he's subduing some type of dragon or some type of reptile creature. Yeah, that's not a statue. That's not a statue. Look at his beard. Look at his head and his arm and stuff. Like, people look at this, oh, that's a sculpture. A sculpture of what? Like, was there a mountain there? Or, like, what was there? What was there? They hand chiseled that? No. This is this biblical stuff, man. The Titans and the Nephilim giants were walking on the earth back in the day before the flood in Noah's day. And in the book of Enoch, it talks about these Titans getting turned into stone. This one's very significant to me because you can see on his leg that there's blood running down his leg in multiple spots. So something happened to this guy. He had an injury and he started bleeding, and that's blood. This used to be a living, walking titan on the earth. And now he got petrified. You see that blood? That's a hand. That looks like a hand. Look at that. It looks like fingers. Some titan is underground, or maybe his hand got, severed. But that's a titan's hand. It's a petrified titan hand. And here's a titan. Something happened to him. And it seems like this could be a titan. So, that's just a mountain. That's just a rock area. It could be. It could be. But that certainly looks like someone's head. That looks like someone's chest. It looks like someone's lower stomach area. Where his leg's at, I don't know. But it looks like a rock dude laying down. That's how that looks. And giants exist. Like, this is a real photo of a real giant. All right? A Chinese giant. They exist. This is not some conspiracy crap. Titans and giants existed. And there's really tall people even today. Like, look at this guy. Look at this Nephilim looking dude. Somehow they were genetically modified back in the day. Who knows why they're big? I know the Nephilim came back. The book of Numbers, Joshua's scouting out the promised land. It shows that the son of the Anakim or the Nephilim were there, giants. So they came back after the flood. How? There's theories. I got multiple theories. That's a whole separate video. But anyways, there's huge, giant dudes today walking around. More from history. Giant people, giant dudes in suits, just straight, chilling with swagged out suits and stuff. Giant ladies. And it wasn't just dudes, it's giant ladies too. That lady, who knows how tall the shorter lady is, but she dwarfs that lady. That's, who knows? That could be 8 feet, 8, 9 feet. We don't know. See? There's another one. Giants are real. Petrified giants are real. Giants in general are real, were real, all of that.
I looked it up for the book of Enoch. I didn't really know much about I knew about like the giants, the titans. Yeah, they definitely look like they were the titans.
They existed. Why would it be documented? Why would we have knowing of it? I don't think it was just made up.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to come face to face with one.
No, it makes me wonder, like, what if they came back somehow?
Yeah, no, thanks.
That'd be crazy. We'd be like little mice to a cat.
They definitely would be eating us.
Do people really see their dead loved ones before they die? This video might convince you. I have the best followers in the world, and someone sent me the most convincing video I think I may have ever seen of deathbed visioning, which I talk about all the time, right? It's something that happens at the end of life. We don't know why it happens. We just know it does. And this is when people start seeing dead relatives, dead loved ones, dead pets sometimes, right before they die. And one of the misconceptions is that people do this hours before they die. So the argument people will always say is, oh, well, they have low oxygen, or they're on just so many meds, they're hallucinating. But that's not usually how it works. Visioning usually happens 3 to 4 weeks before someone dies. And they usually are alert and oriented, and they don't have low oxygen. So this video is a perfect example. You'll see a woman lying in bed. She is not actively dying. You can clearly see because she's awake and talking to somebody. And the woman who sent me this video said this was her mother and they had gone to bed, but then suddenly she heard her mom talking to several people, it sounded like. It didn't just sound like she was talking to one person. She was excited and like saying, oh my gosh, you're here and you're here and you're here. And she thought, who the heck is she talking to? It's like 9 o'clock at night, we're going to bed. So she goes into her mother's room and this is what she saw. Here is the video.
Or anything. Here at last, I'm getting to see quite a few of you, and I love everyone.
Do you see what I'm talking about? When I saw that video, I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is a perfect example of things that I see as a hospice nurse as well. This woman is clearly talking to several people in the room, and she's excited and happy to see them. Now, her daughter said she just sort of let her mom be and left. She didn't ask a bunch of questions and just felt comforted that her mom was so excited to see people she hadn't seen in a long time. Now, this next video was also sent to me by a follower, and this one I would say is more on the paranormal side, because what you're going to see and hear is a woman lying in bed and talking to someone, and then she stops talking, and then on the camera you actually hear someone who is not there respond back. Actually, I'm not going to tell you what they say. I want to see if you hear it first, and then we'll talk about it. So here's the video.
Okay.
Okay, so to me, it's pretty clear. I don't know if you guys heard it or not, but I definitely heard the words mama. Someone saying mama in the video. Now, the daughter who recorded this video, she's recording her mom, and really it's for safety reasons. She's just basically keeping a camera on her mom at night to make sure she stays in bed and she's safe. But that's what the camera caught. And to her, she had a sister who has already died, and she thinks her mom is seeing her sister, and then you're hearing her sister who has already died say mama, which I'm getting chills right now just talking about it. I just got chills. It's mysterious, right? I know. There's going to be a lot of opinions, and I try to stay on the fence of like what this means and what is this. To me, I find it comforting. I find it beautiful. I don't claim to know if it's real or not real. Is it really happening? Is it not really happening? To me, it doesn't matter. To me, I love that we live in this world where comforting things happen to us at the end of life to make us feel more peaceful, more comforted, like we're not fully losing our loved ones when they're gone. Now, there are some theories that have been developed as to why this happens, and they are biological theories. They haven't been like extensively studied, so they're just theories, but I'd like to throw them out there so you guys know. Many people believe that in the act of dying, your brain will light up the parts of the brain that will do like a life review. Maybe that's why you're seeing all these people that used to be in your life, right? So it's a way of almost your brain comforting you, reviewing your life before you die. Now, the thing that I think is strange about that, because they have done EEGs on dying brains, there's a famous story about a man who was getting an EEG done when he died. And what the EEG showed was that the parts of the brain that like have memory and like would do some kind of life review lit up towards the end of his life when he was dying. Hence this idea that maybe that's what's happening during the visioning. But what I think is not accurate is that it doesn't happen when someone's actively dying. It usually happens, like I said, weeks before. So there's never been, as far as I know, studies done of people, weeks before they die when they're visioning. Although that could be a good theory, it doesn't fully hold true to me because people usually don't start visioning during the actively dying phase. They start visioning earlier during the transitioning phase. Another thing people always say is that it's medications they're on. Medications are making them hallucinate. As a nurse, I can tell you, I have seen when people had like medication delirium or ICU psychosis, aggravation because of medication or because of their disease process. So visioning to me looks much, much different. And you can clearly see in those videos, specifically the first one, she is not agitated. She does not seem confused. She is very clear on who she is seeing and who she is talking to. And she's very in it with them. So to me, that vision that I'm seeing in the video looks much different than what it looks like when someone is delirious or having ICU psychosis or is agitated. And the low oxygen thing, I can like hands down say that is not the reason why. Because your oxygen really doesn't dip that low to cause something like that to happen until you're in the actively dying phase, which is the last phase of life. And people don't vision in the actively dying phase, for the most part. Every once in a while they do. For the most part, they're unconscious in that actively dying phase. So they're not talking to anybody. They're not saying anything to anyone. So it's not low oxygen. I mean, countless times I have seen people visioning, you check their oxygen, and it's normal. So this whole no oxygen thing is, or low oxygen thing is incorrect. That is not a correct theory, in my opinion. And last but not least, DMT. People always talk about, oh, at the end of life, people have DMT that's released in their brain. DMT is not an accurate theory because it's really never been studied. They don't really know that. It's just people saying, that could be it. That could be what's happening. But no one actually knows. No one's actually studied that. So to throw out that kind of theory so willy-nilly, to me, is inaccurate. It hasn't been studied. We don't actually know that for sure. So I would say that's a no as well. The only theory to me that kind of makes sense is the one about, our brain doing all of these things during the end of life to protect us, to send us comfort, to allow us to have this beautiful life review towards the end of our life. And again, like I said before, to me, whether this is real or just the brain protecting us, I'm okay with either. I mean, the fact that our brain would be built to protect us and do that stuff for us at the end of life, how amazing. That's amazing. I love biology. I love our human bodies. It's a miracle, right? Or there is something after we die and we really are seeing our dead relatives and our dead loved ones and our pets that have died. That's also amazing. To me, they're both amazing. So with that said, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think of the videos? Have you experienced this before? What do you think's happening?
I believe that during transitioning, you do see those things and hear those things. And I don't think it's just our brain. I witnessed my own grandmother go through that. She was having picnics with her family, her sisters, before she left. And it was weeks before she left. And then I had another friend that passed, and moments before death, she sat right up out of a complete coma and started pointing and saying, "Isn't it beautiful?" Science says it's our brain, and I don't believe it.
There's an episode on surviving death on Netflix, and a hospice doctor, and it's really interesting, all the stories that he has and the experiences that he has of everybody. They travel when they sleep, the people that they talk to, and it turned him into a believer.
If you're a hospice nurse, get a hold of us. We'd love to interview you.
You guys just had to have me open the damn well. That's my room. I keep hearing something under the house. I thought I did last night. I was pretty tired. But I forgot I got an old crawl space. I'm a man, damn it. Don't be a sissy. I'm making nothing here. Oh my god. Oh my god. What the fuck? Nope, I'm fucking out of here. That's your fault, TikTok. Hell no. That's bullshit. You know I don't believe in that. You know the history of this house. Nope. I'm gonna go sleep at the fucking gas station parking lot. I don't even want to go back in there. That freaked me the fuck out. Yeah. I'm not going back over there. Look at this. That is the creepiest freaking sound I've ever heard in my freaking life.
I don't think that's a skunk.
Run!
Maybe it's the gnome, not the skunk.
Oh, the gnome with the wheelbarrow?
You know what I'm talking about.
If you like what you see, could you do us a favor and hit that like, subscribe, and that little notification bell? That way, anytime we put up a new video, you're reminded to take a look.
Had your kids, had your wife.
Call the cops. Don't go in.
I see that. This is the third time I've come through, and this is exactly how I've seen them. 3 times now.
Alright, tell me I'm on fucking crack. Every time I turn off the light, there's like a shadow there. Watch. You see that? What the fuck? What the fuck? Tell me I'm not on fucking crack, dude.
How are people just chilling? They're like, hey, look at this.
Hey, look at those little weird kids with glowing eyes.
Oh, there's just a shadow every time I turn off the light. And they sound like they're home by themselves.
Yeah. No.
No.
Family tormented by what's believed to be the ghost of missing housekeeper.
Sí, no manches. Sí. Sí. ¡Verga!
Quiero abrir porque se escuchan ruidos. Literal se acaba de escuchar un ruido. No. No mames. Amor, no mames.
Here's my problem with these videos. They just happen to be recording when the action starts. You know damn well, paranormal investigators go in and it takes hours and hours just to even get like a little movement. But they're just happen to be recording and doors are flying open and Christmas trees are rattling.
Yeah, like so much movement is happening all at once. That is so rare.
And those big weird handprints on the bed.
We all do that with our velvet blankets.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Fake.
Fake.
Science has no way of explaining how Teresa of Avila's corpse refused to decompose and was investigated by doctors of that day. And then again in the 19th century, was dug up again, investigated by members of the medical school of the University of Salamanca, professors, still incorrupt. And now, 4 or 5 weeks ago, she's been dug up again.
Poor saints.
They're running whatever tests are available now that were not available in the late 19th century.
Right.
And one of the characteristics of Teresa's body is that she used oil. When it was flowing copiously, smelled wonderful, and performed healing miracles.
What is it with the fascination with the saints and the bodies? You keep digging up the body and taking it out and showcasing it.
Let them rest. Let them be oily.
Yeah.
And just let them be in the oils.
Yeah, stop taking the oil.
A family living in Utah were sitting in the living room watching TV one day when suddenly out of nowhere something strange happens. Watch closely. The dog that was just laying on the floor peacefully is suddenly moved by an invisible force, strong enough that it scared the dog, making it cry out and run to safety with its owners. The family have no idea what happened to their dog, but after this they say strange events have been following their dog, and on another night their home security camera captures this. A phone that looks secure on a flat armrest suddenly falls off the chair by itself when the dog is near. Then, something on the table falls by itself. The family believes something might be haunting their dog.
Cat and the dog definitely saw something.
Yeah, so when you're at home and your animals just look at something, it's probably a ghost.
Leave the dog and the cat alone. Leave the animals alone, ghosties. I'm going to send Zach Baggins after you.
He's no joke.
Kind of is a joke.
Thanks. I'm curious. Did they have a camera just in their living room because of paranormal activity? There just seems to be a lot of people that just have cameras going in their houses. Like, is that a normal thing?
Not for me. I don't want to be watched, even if it's by myself.
A lot of people hack those things too.
Yeah. I mean, are they
So,
doing it for security purposes or?
I don't know. But I think it's kind of weird. Just
Me too.
Be chilling in your living room. You're on camera.
Dude, I'm a little wigged out right now. So I was washing dishes and just putting things away, and all of a sudden I feel something hit me in the back and I heard it bounce. Look at this shit. And this ball hits me in the back right shoulder out of nowhere. And what's even crazier is look where Avery's at. Now, mind you, I just got done washing the air fryer and was drying it off. Whatever it was had a little bit of force. And I'm going to tell you right now, Lauren's been in bed for almost 2 days. Like, she gets up for a little bit, but she has not felt good at all. And Avery, let's just face it, if he's not watching his tablet, he's on the Oculus or he's outside. And I knew with it being like 12 o'clock, he's inside. So, I have no idea. Now, I have a lot of activity. It's not like malicious or anything, but that right there was the first time that's happened. So, I don't know. What do y'all think about it?
Again, with the security cameras, but here's the thing. Without them, we wouldn't have these videos.
It's true. Like, part of me is like, this would be cool to catch this just randomly in your kitchen, on your dining room.
Yeah.
Like, it's just odd.
Yeah.
Like, is it a setup? Did they like go back and watch themselves live their lives and be like, oh, what did I look like when I
Yeah.
was washing the dishes? Is this some like strange form of narcissism that I just haven't heard about?
This is why you should always be armed while camping in the woods, because when this guy began to drive through the path at night, he noticed a strange figure in the distance. As the man got closer, he knew something wasn't right, as the strange figure's movements were unsteady, and its walking patterns were very strange. The man drives in closer to see if they need a ride, but then suddenly the creature turns around and begins to dart towards the vehicle. The man turns around and never returned to the area. But what would you do in this situation?
The man drives closer to see if that thing needs a ride.
Got no strings to hold me down.
That's a big old nope.
If I was in the woods and that weird legged thing just started coming at me like that, I would need new drawers.
And why are you driving around in the woods at night like this? What is wrong with everybody? They're recording themselves in their houses and driving around the woods at night?
I don't know.
Unless you're a forest ranger, you got no business being out there.
No. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us again, watching our new strange and unusual content. If you guys have anything you want to share with us, any videos, any photos, and you'd want us to debut it on our Beyond Files, send it to us at tothespiritpod@gmail.com. We would love it. And we've really appreciate everything that you guys have sent so far. We're just so appreciative of all your support and you tuning in with us. So until next time.